Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I'm going to try to do this fairly quickly, but I've had many people say that they want to learn how to prep. Now, the difference between other YouTube channels and what I'm doing here to teach about prepping is most of them do not believe in the Lord. They're not Christians, and they don't. If they are, they don't really know theology or anything. So what I'm preparing to do is not only preparing for war, a grid down situation, EMP, any of that kind of thing. I'm also preparing, so I want to have stuff for if the beast system comes, if the mark of the beast comes, and we have to survive, we won't be able to buy or sell with the mark. So I also am looking at that for the reign of the Antichrist. Whether you believe a pre-trib rapture or not, I don't. I believe we'll be here for it. It doesn't matter. You still have to be prepared. Those who see trouble from afar and prepare are wise, but those who see trouble coming and do nothing are fools. Okay, so we need to prepare, and a lot of people have to do this on a budget. So what are some ways and some things to get started? You want to get started now. Already should have done this. I've had the Lord tell me to prep. That's what a while ago, over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, he said prep. Within the same week, he told my father-in-law the exact same thing. And so, we figured that out, and it's like, hey, that's confirmation enough. We both know the voice of the Lord. And he's telling us both the same thing within the same week. So we're going to do it. I'll go through some of the things I have and ways that you can do this cheap, and you can start little by little. You don't have to do it all at once, but there's always something you can do. There's always something you can buy just with a little bit of money and start with the first necessities that you need. You're going to need food, water, and water filtration, because if the grid goes down, they will hack into the water system. The electricity goes down. You won't be able to have water pump or anything. If you have a well, then you're good. Make sure it's a manual pump and not an electronic pump. If you have a well, you're good, or a source of creek water or anything like that, you're good. You need to filter that creek water and type of stuff. So the cheap way to filter it is what's called here. I have a life straw. Many of you probably heard of it. Maybe some of you haven't. So it's just like any other straw, but it's built-in filter. And what you do is you open each end and you use it just like a straw. There's directions on how to get it started. You put this in the dirty water, and I have looked at under a microscope. I've seen studies with the water before and after going through the straw under a microscope, and it cleans like you wouldn't imagine. It's like 99% of everything comes out, and it works very well. There might still be a taste depending on the water, but it will be clean. It will be usable. You can boil on top of this if you need to. So you stick that right in the puddle, stick it right in the pond, in the creek, and to get it started, you go 4 times, and it'll get it up in there, and then you go ahead and use it like a normal straw, and you can drink right through it. And they make these in cups, like coffee style cups and all that type of stuff, with filters built into them. This was like, at the time I bought it, it was like $12-14. It's very cheap, and it works for, I believe, like filters like 3,000 gallons or something, or 1,000, in between 1 to 3,000 gallons. So that's a lot of water, especially to go through a straw. This will last a long time. Get a couple of them per person, and you're good on the go. They work on the go, and that's good. So a lot of people, you're going to want to know if you're going to bug out, if you're going to stay home, and what to do. And that's all going to depend on the situation, but you want to be prepared to stay home and bug in, or to bug out. So what you're going to want to do to bug in, either way, you're going to want to get food and water. So another good thing we have is this. You can run water through it. We have a whole bunch of extra filters. It's just like a regular pure Brita type style water filtration. You can take your water and pour it in the top, and it'll drip out. Just have extra filters on hand. That's a good, easy way to store water. So the next thing, I do not trust tap water. I don't trust bottled water, the BPAs, and I've seen things that are put into it, and like graphene oxide. I'll probably get hit for saying that, but graphene oxide is in bottled water. I've seen electrodes put into the bottled water, and it's electrified. It turns on, and it gets that graphene oxide from reverse dissolves it, and then you can see all this metal that's in bottled water, and it's in a lot of brands. And I seen that, I'm like, okay, I don't drink bottled water. That's why, to me, it has a weird taste. But the tap water has a ton of chlorine and fluoride and all this other stuff in it. So what do? This Brita water filter, we use this every single day, this thing here. For that reason, I trust the tap water through this more than I ever would bottled water, because of all the things that I've seen in it. So what I'm doing is, these are at Walmart, $13. This is a 5-gallon thing. So I've been running the water through this filter and pouring it into this thing, and I'm going to buy a few of them and set it aside. Now, it'll only last 6 months unless you treat it. To treat it, you can take, for every 5 gallons, you take a teaspoonful of bleach, and it's not going to be harmful. It won't hurt you. It's so diluted, it just keeps the parasites and bugs out of it. And you put that in and shake it up, and for every 5 gallons, it's just a few drops for less. You can Google it and get all the information you can off YouTube and Google right now. And so you have it. And then you can set these back and store them. So that will take care of some water source for you. There's many other ways you can do it. But these are cheap ways. These are really fairly cheap ways to get water filtration and storage. That's the number one thing. You die the fastest from lack of water, from dehydration. Next is food. So what kinds of foods? These things are not a lot of money. This is like $1.50 a bag of rice. This is a lot of rice. I mean, this one's only a pound, but there's much bigger bags. They're not expensive. The price has gone up, but so is everything. It's not expensive. Stack these things. They will last a long time. And expiration dates on this stuff, or best by dates and all that stuff. I'm not saying go ahead and do this, but it's more of a suggestion. There's been many tests done. I've tested things that are in canned foods, canned goods, things like this, that it has a best by date or an expiration date, but it lasts much longer. If you have no other way to get food and you find things that are expired like this, it's probably still going to be good, and you're going to be hungry enough you're not going to care. Stack up on rice. They make bags of beans just like this. There's other things of canned foods you can get. This is Vienna sausages. It's a canned food. It is a quick pop it in your mouth snack. It's protein. There's sources there. Tuna, things of tuna. Stack up on tuna. These things, I believe this stuff's all going to happen so soon that most of these will never even hit the expiration date. This is a great thing. Chicken, these 2 packs of chicken, it's like $5-6 for 2 packs of chicken. You can add this to the rice. You can add this to the beans. You can do so many things. All this stuff is cheap. Now, there's one thing that a lot of people forget about when they're prepping, that they think that they need right now every day to function. That's coffee. Well, how are you going to do coffee if you don't have a generator or solar powered generator or anything? Stock up on the instant. Start getting it right now. Instant coffee. That's a good thing to do. Now, there's many things that you got to remember when doing all this prepping. Like, you got to think about how many people are with you, and how long, and da-da-da-da-da, okay? You can get MREs, the meals ready to eat. They're all freeze-dried. They're a little more expensive, but they're easy on the go and all that type of stuff. So you're going to need a way to cook it. Very cheap. Was it like $15, $8, something like that? A compact grill. You can cook it with sticks, if you have charcoals or whatever. There's also many ways, there's no electricity, many heat sources and cooking sources that take these. And a 4-pack is $18. You don't have to get all this stuff all at once, but you need to get it. You need to get a way to heat yourself for the winter, a way to cook, water filtration, food, long-term food storage, all dry goods, ramen noodles, instant coffees, canned goods, all the canned vegetables, fruits, all that stuff. Have it. Stock up. You can get canned goods for $1 a piece. Go to Aldi's, Walmart, wherever. $1 a piece. If you have animals, you need to store food for them so they are not eating your food. Because I know you aren't going to want them to die. Get them their food stored. Couple bags back, depending on how much they eat, what size of dog or cat they are. store for your animals. You have to prep for these things. So we'll start there. Now, that's for a bug-in situation. The next thing you want to have is, what if something happens in the city, or if you're in a city, you got to get out. You're going to have to go to the woods in the country. You want to scout out a place, find a place, and try to find somewhere that is in the middle of nowhere, whatever you can, away from as many people as possible. But you have to have supplies and equipment to bug out. So what you need is a bug out bag. This one is my old one. I have a new one coming in the mail that's much larger, 70 liters, and will be able to hold a lot more. I don't have a ton of things in here because of that reason. And there are some things I just can't show for my own safety on video, okay? And this is right here, one of the things I cannot show. But if you have medications, you need to, however you can do it, stock up on your medications, especially if it's something you need every day, antibiotics, anything. If you can get somehow prescription or whatever legally, I'm not saying do anything illegal, get these things and stock up on them. You got to think ahead of that stuff, things that keep you or your loved ones alive. The things that can come later, the things after you start getting food and water storage, the things that come later, the things you'll need but are less important than the food and the water. You need toothpaste, bar soap, any vitamins. Now this is optional. I have this because I feel like World War III is going to have some sort of a limited nuclear exchange. It'll be limited because the Bible doesn't say the world ends by a nuke. It does show that nukes do happen. People's tongues will dissolve in their mouths. Their eyes will burn out of the socket. It explains nukes. So if you're in an area where there's been nukes, you have to have something that keeps you from getting cancer instantly. So these type of things right here is what that does. This is potassium iodate or potassium iodide. I prefer the potassium iodate. You can get it online, 30, 40 bucks for this one, 20, 15 for this one. And what it does is it coats your thyroid in a good type of iodine. And so that way the radiation stuff cannot enter it, and that's what causes many types of cancer. You're going to want certain types of knives. These are little pocket knives, one for each person in my family that's old enough to handle them. I got, those are just little types of knives. We have the life straws in the bag. There's going to be so much more. You want to have sources of fire, lighters, matches, and most importantly, if I can find it real quick, right here. These are cheap. It's a fire starter. Got a compass on it. Got it on Amazon, like $8 for 2 or something. And so what you want to do is, I got an old bottle right here. Just an old, it was a vitamin bottle, all right? And what I did is I shoved it full of cotton balls. It's waterproof, it's safe. What you do, you don't even need a whole cotton ball. You take a piece of it if you want, like this, and you fluff it up. You fluff it up, and you put that on your tinder bundle. Your tinder bundle will be very dry things and just a little bit of it so you can get the fire started, and then you have all your other sticks and your bigger logs and stuff nearby to where you make your fire. So you're going to bring this to this and just make it spark right over the fluffy cotton into the tinder bundle. And then once you got it going, maybe you need to add a little oxygen. You just blow on it a little bit and it'll take off. And then you add your other sticks slowly, smaller into bigger and bigger. And this works very, very well. It catches very easily with one of these, very easily. You want to practice with this stuff before you do it. Now, all this stuff I'm showing you, this is like Christian prepper on a budget type stuff, all right? And like I said, you got to do it one by one. Other things you're going to need is cordage. Cordage, this will help you in your go bag if you need to tie stuff together for secure fishing line, fishing poles, anything that's collapsible that you can fit, anything like that. To build shelters, you'll need cordage. To fish, you want to have fishing line, hooks, all that type of stuff with you. you're going to want to have with you. See, this is like a multi-tool with a hammer on it. It's got screwdrivers in it. It's got knives, all that. You want to have a sharp knife, a big one. You want to have sharp little knives. You want all that type of stuff. I wear contacts. I'm stocked up. This ain't it. I've got contacts upon contacts that I have. These are Hubble brand. They're fairly cheap, but they're dailies. But in certain situations, you have the contact solution, you have the contact case. You can take them out each night instead of changing them daily. And I'm not saying I recommend this, only in a life or death situation. This is not medical advice. This is life or death advice that you can make them last a week, a pair, 2 weeks, a month, a pair, if you have to. But I do not recommend doing that by any means necessary otherwise. But these are things you got to think about. First aid. Smaller first aid kits, bigger first aid kits. Here's another life straw. This is another version of it. Same exact thing. This one might tell. The other one didn't tell how many gallons. I know it's a lot. And I might have... I know it's a lot. Now I just want to know. Up to... Removes 99.99999% of bacteria, E. coli, Giardia, Cryptosporidium, etc. And it does. I've seen it. Filters 4,000 liters, 1,000 gallons through one of these. It's a lot of water for one person. Get some. Get some. Get some. Okay, any type of first aid thing. If you can't buy or sell, I've contemplated showing this. The cheapest place to get it's probably eBay, to be honest. Look at people the sellers that have the most rating, the best rating, but I'm not going to show it all. I'll show some of it. There's different sizes and different types of silvers and gold. This is a 1/4 gram of gold right here. Comes in this thing's called assay. It's a 1/4 gram of gold. This was like $35 or something like that worth of gold. If the SHTF happens, this will go up dramatically in price. It'll always hold its price. Cash may work for a little while, but eventually it's going to be worth toilet paper. It's nothing. This is 1 ounce of silver. It's worth about $30 right now. And that's not spot price. That's the price for the actual print. It's a fish on there. Multiple different ones. That's $30. This is a 2.5 grains. This is worth just like $2 or $1 silver. These things will go up, but you need a way to buy and sell if the Antichrist system comes. They come in all different sizes. This is a 1/4 troy ounce. A 1/4 ounce of silver. There's other metals and things that you can use. There's copper, platinum, but I suggest sticking with silver and gold. That's all I'm going to show right now. You guys don't need to see what all I've got. So this is just some preps to get started. And these are things you got to think about. You got to think about if there's people that need any special types of treatments, and if you can have the means to get generators, so I suggest getting solar generators, because there will be no gas stations, and it's hard to store up gas for very long with very large amounts. I highly suggest a solar generator. You can get a Faraday bag or a Faraday thing online, which protects your generator or any other electronics through from an EMP and lightning strikes and stuff like that. It's called a Faraday cage or a Faraday bag. You want to have multiple ways to light fires. You want to have multiple, but we have a couple of different tents. We have kids, We have tents for storage of our food. For one, we store all of our food and water in one tent. The other tent we will all sleep in. Let me see what else I got in here. This is just the go bag. This is just stuff I know I can take with me. The bigger the go bag, the more stuff you can take. And the bigger ones have like a belt thing around that you can, it makes it easier to carry more weight. Gonna be in the woods, got a little thing of bug spray. This is more comfort than anything. Stuff like this can even be used to help start fires. There's multiple uses for a lot of different things. You want to have, if you can, a change of clothes. You're going to want to have gloves. You want to have hats, things that'll keep you warm, especially if it's winter. I have ropes in here. I have different types of knives, multi-tools for different jobs. The bigger the bag, the more you can carry. But like I said, start with water and food. The things you have to survive. And then you're going to want to have places. You're going to want to have shelters. You're going to want to have all that type of stuff. So I got matches in a baggie so it doesn't get wet. I've got multiple of these in case I lose one. In case I need to leave my wife with one and I take one if I have to go somewhere to do something on a mission. Remember this with the cotton balls. You can fit a lot of them in a thing like this. It's very waterproof and it will last a long time if you're ripping them up. You can get Vaseline and make them last even longer, but I don't like doing it with Vaseline. They catch just fine without it. I have plenty of them. Again, and then we're going to want to have here, let me grab this. Okay, stuff like this. This is a first aid kit. It's going to have all different types of bandages, foil blankets, different types of cream, alcohols, tapes, different types of, like this is Imodium, there's ibuprofens, gauzes, there's burn cream, there's triple antibiotic ointment. This is a pretty large one. Got ibuprofen, different types of bandages, band-aids, ace wraps, gauzes. That's a pretty good size, pretty good first aid kit. They're not super expensive. The next thing, this right here, this is a different type of way to cook food. This one is a butane stove. You take, like right in here, this holds butane. We have cans of butane. You can get other ones just like this that run off these, and heaters that do as well. So this is a good place to start. None of this stuff was super expensive. A lot of it was fairly cheap, and you got to start somewhere, and you got to start right now, and you got to be in prayer. You got to follow the Holy Spirit and the Lord, and ask Him to guide you. And if you need this stuff, where you can go, and you have to have these things planned out. What if you're at work when stuff hits the fan? What if you're at work? What if your wife's at work? Do you have a plan to get home? If the vehicles don't work because of an EMP, do you have a bag in the car, depending on how far away you work, so you can, if you have to stay the night somewhere, and then you get back up and go in the morning, or if you're going to walk, I wouldn't suggest walking the whole way through at night, especially if you're a woman, but have a plan to get home. If you have backup transportation that runs on points and not electronic starting, not fuel injection, older vehicles, some of them that run on points, have points on the engine that will start. So there's no electronic stuff. Those will start in an EMP. Anything else won't unless it's shielded and hardened. And there's ways to do that. EMPshield.com. I'm not affiliated with them, but it's a way. I don't know how well it works, but they say they test their stuff. I believe in it. But anything can happen. EMP Shield, they have them for your car, for your house. So it should still work in an EMP, solar flare, any type of that situation. There's going to be a lot of you that have questions. Please put them in the comments. Prayer requests, put them in the comments. I'm just touching base. This goes so much deeper, but this is a good place to start. Start with these small things and work your way up, and don't put all your money into it at once, because then you'll be broke. You need to budget it out. Be responsible. Men of God, if you have families and you haven't started this yet, do it now. And if you're not going to, shame on you. Be a man, man up, and start prepping to keep your family safe and so you can survive. And all this, oh, I'll just go kill animals and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah, okay, you think that's how easy it is? It's not that easy. I've hunted my whole life. I've fished my whole life. You don't just walk out there and you get something every time. That's not how it works. You want to have guns and ammo on hand, which I'm not showing for obvious reasons, for protection, for hunting, any other type of thing like that. I will not show what I have. And any other type of equipment for hunting, fishing, all that stuff, tents, all of it. Make sure you start, though, with the food and the water and work your way up. Now is the time to take action, because the Lord will provide, yes, but He tells us that we need to prepare. He gives us warnings. He's given you someone like me to come and say, hey, this is what you need to do. And if you don't listen to the man of God, the woman of God who has been told by God, and then pray and get it confirmed, that if you don't listen to what they're saying and take heed to the warning, then God's not going to do anything for you. You have to listen to His directions and his advice. You don't want to get caught with your pants down. You don't want to get caught without protection of protecting your home, without a plan. Have a plan with other family members, how to get where to convene, where to meet, how to get home from work, how to get to your bug out place, bicycles, whatever. Make plans. Make it now. Watch as many YouTube videos as you can as for plants that you can eat, foraging mushrooms, for all the learn and to identify those things now. What we have internet. You just seen the cell phone thing just happened. That was a test run. That was a test run, most likely a test run for a cyber attack that's to come. We've already started World War III. It started. It doesn't look like normal war. This is the 2024. Things look a little different with all this technology, but I assure you it started, and it's going to get worse. Get your family prepared. If you're not right with the Lord, now's the time. He is coming back. All this stuff's in the Bible prophesied, all of it. All of it. And we're just getting started. The labor pains have intensified. The tribulation's about to begin. Soon. It hasn't started yet. We're in the labor pains. But we will see it. I believe we'll go through it. And I believe we will have to and are called to endure. For many reasons, and I can get into that on another video. I used to believe in the pre-trib rapture my whole life, and I just wanted the truth, and I came humbly and not in pride, thinking I knew everything, and I knew what I know what I know, and da-da-da. No, I came humbly, Lord, I want the truth no matter what the cost, and He gave it to me, and I was wrong, and I had to admit it. I believed wrong. No one likes to do that, but I want the truth, and so I seeked, and He's shown me things that I've never seen any YouTube video ever show in His own word that proves that we will be here, that we will have to endure till the end, and then we'll be saved. And He's shown me these things in ways no one else has ever taught that I've ever seen, and I've done my fair share of study, and I wanted the truth, and He showed me Himself because I asked, and I humbled myself for the truth, and I changed my beliefs accordingly. I suggest you do the same thing. If I'm wrong and we go, hallelujah, I hope so. But if I'm right and you're not prepared, sorry, you were warned. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I love you guys. Questions, comments, share this, all that stuff. Thank you. God bless. We'll do more as the week goes on. I'll find more things to share and reveal. Study the plants, study the areas, make plans, prepare, prep. It's not hard. Start now. No excuses. In Jesus' name.